Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're doing a deep dive into this book, You're Too Good to Feel This Bad.
Ooh.
By Nate Dallas.
Okay.
Now, I know what you might be thinking, right? Another self-help book. But this one, I think, is a little different.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of practical advice.
It does.
It's not just affirmations.
Yeah, it's not your typical self-help book. I think what really makes it stand out is that Dallas himself, he didn't start out as, some kind of life coach or guru.
Right.
He was actually a dentist.
Yeah.
And had his own kind of wake-up call, and that led him to develop this whole system.
Yeah, and his own health scare is like a big part of the book, right?
Yeah.
He was pushing himself to the limit.
Oh, yeah.
Working tons of hours, seeing patients, running businesses, being a dad.
Yeah.
And he started experiencing all these weird symptoms.
Right.
Went to the doctor, and the doctor was just like, oh, it's just stress.
Oh, the irony.
Right. Ironic, considering the title of the book. But like, he really felt like something was wrong. And he kept pushing for more tests. And eventually, they told him he needed a colonoscopy.
Oh, wow.
Which, understandably, freaked him out.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But that ended up being a turning point for him.
It did.
It was like this big wake-up call.
Absolutely. The colonoscopy was actually clear.
Okay.
But the process, like going through that, made him realize, wait a minute, I'm living my life in a way that is actively like contributing to this burnout.
Yeah.
He wasn't just wired for stress. He was like making choices that led him there.
Exactly.
And so that was what prompted him to start trying to figure out how to feel better, and that's what he lays out in this book.
Yeah, and one thing I really liked about the book is it's very practical.
It is, yeah.
It's not just like think positive thoughts and everything will be okay, You have like concrete steps.
Yes.
And he ties all these actions back to 6 basic human needs, right?
Yes.
So there's certainty, variety, significance, growth, and love. He says we all have these needs. And if they're not being met in healthy ways, that can cause problems.
For sure.
So like by understanding these needs, we can start making choices that actually support our well-being.
Exactly.
Rather than sabotaging it,
That's right.
So I have to ask about this because it really caught my eye when I was reading this.
Okay.
He has some pretty strong opinions on sleep.
Oh, he does.
He basically says most high achievers are sleep deprived.
Yeah, they are.
Even if they think they're getting enough.
Even if they think they're fine.
Right.
Yeah, he really challenges that whole I'll sleep when I'm dead mentality.
Yeah.
Which, is so common.
Yes.
And he's not just saying, oh, you'll have more energy if you sleep more.
Yeah.
It's deeper than that, right? It's like when you're not getting enough sleep, your decision-making is impaired.
Yeah.
Your judgment.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to perform at your best, Yeah,
you're not showing up as the best version of yourself.
Exactly.
If you're constantly exhausted.
Exactly, yeah.
But is he really advocating for taping your mouth shut at night?
Okay, so that's the one that I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, sounds a little out there, right?
But he's a huge proponent of nose breathing.
Okay.
And he believes that a lot of us have developed this habit of mouth breathing, even while we're sleeping, and it's actually disrupting our sleep.
Okay.
So the tape is really just a way to retrain yourself to breathe through your nose.
Interesting. Okay.
And he argues that nose breathing has a ton of benefits, like, better oxygenation, reduced anxiety, improves sleep quality.
Wow, I'm definitely intrigued now.
Yeah, I mean, of course, talk to your doctor if you have sleep apnea.
Sure.
Don't just go taping your mouth shut.
Right. Safety first.
But, it's something to consider.
Yeah, and I'm curious, is there actually, like, scientific evidence to support all this stuff about nose breathing?
There is a growing body of research, but it's still a relatively new area.
Okay.
But I think what's clear is that the way we breathe does impact our health.
Right.
So, nothing wrong with trying to be more conscious of your breathing.
Yeah, for sure.
Throughout the day.
Absolutely.
And Dallas is also a big advocate of hydration.
Yeah.
He even suggests, like, drinking only water for a certain period of time to kind of reset your body.
Interesting. And I think that's where his background as a dentist really comes in.
Yeah.
He understands like the physiology of the body and how something as simple as dehydration can have a big impact on your health.
Absolutely, yeah.
And, I have to admit, I've never really thought that much about dehydration beyond just feeling thirsty,
Right.
But he really lays out all these negative effects like brain fog, mood swings, digestive issues, even premature aging.
Yeah, it's kind of scary when you realize how much it impacts us.
Right, and it's not just about the quantity of water we drink, it's about the quality.
Yes.
He really makes a strong case for ditching sugary drinks.
Absolutely.
And just sticking to pure filtered water.
Yes.
Makes sense, right?
It does.
If you're constantly bombarding your body with sugar and artificial ingredients, it's going to have negative consequences.
It's going to throw things off.
So, drinking more water, breathing through your nose.
Yeah.
What other kind of, unconventional wisdom does he have up his sleeve?
Well, get ready for this one.
Okay.
He has a whole chapter dedicated to the importance of our state.
Our state.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So he argues that most of us misinterpret situations because we're reacting from a negative emotional state.
Interesting.
So it's not just about changing our thoughts. It's about becoming aware of our underlying emotional state.
Okay. I like that.
He uses this really great analogy in the book.
Okay.
He says, imagine your state as the weather.
Okay.
So are you sunny and calm, or are you stormy and reactive?
I like that.
And he basically teaches you how to become your own meteorologist.
Okay.
So you can recognize when a storm is brewing and take steps to shift your state before you make a decision or react to a situation.
Okay, so how do we do that? How do we become our own, emotional meteorologist?
Well, he provides a whole toolbox of techniques. From simple things like adjusting your posture and breathing to more mindful practices like gratitude and visualization.
Right.
He even suggests forcing a smile to trick your brain into feeling happier.
Wow.
Which sounds silly, but it actually has some science backing it up.
Okay. I love that idea, though, becoming more aware of our emotional state,
Yeah.
And like you said, it's not about suppressing our emotions.
No.
But it's about being more conscious of them.
Exactly.
So we can make choices from a more grounded place.
Exactly. And that awareness is key to everything else that he teaches in the book. It's the foundation for making positive changes in all areas of our life, from our physical health to our relationships to our finances.
This is already making me want to grab a copy of this book. And we've only just scratched the surface.
We've only just begun.
We have a lot more to cover.
So all this stuff about self-awareness, it really ties into what he has to say about relationships.
Okay.
How he talked about connection being one of those 6 basic human needs?
Right.
He doesn't just say, go make more friends.
Yeah, it's not about quantity.
No, it's about quality.
Yeah.
It's about being intentional about who you let into your inner circle.
Right.
And this is where this idea of emotional boundaries comes in.
Okay, what does he mean by emotional boundaries?
So it's like recognizing that you don't have to let everyone's opinions and emotions affect you.
Okay.
You can choose to protect your energy and well-being by setting limits.
So it's about being selective about whose energy you allow into your life.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And that might even mean letting go of some relationships, even if that feels hard.
Yeah, he uses this interesting analogy to describe this, like pruning a fruit tree.
Oh, yeah. He talks about how, when you prune a fruit tree, you're actually helping it to produce better fruit by cutting away some of the branches and leaves. You're directing the resources to the parts that you want to flourish.
I like that.
And he says, this applies to more than just relationships. Yeah. It's this principle of subtraction by addition.
What's that?
He's saying that when you add more intention and purpose to your life,
okay,
you're naturally going to start subtracting the things that don't align with your values.
So decluttering your life, both internally and externally.
Yes.
Okay, I like that.
And that leads to another concept that he introduces, the importance of leisure.
Leisure.
Yeah.
I feel like when I hear that word, I think of just vegging out, watching TV.
Right. But he has a different definition. He sees leisure as this time for intentional relaxation and reflection.
Okay.
Pursuing activities that cultivate virtue and character.
So it's not about just escaping from work. It's about engaging in activities that actually nourish you.
Yes, exactly. And he even calls it the most valuable of possessions.
Wow. That's high praise.
Quoting Socrates, no less.
I like that a lot.
So yeah, he's really emphasizing how undervalued leisure is.
Yeah, I think you're right. We're so obsessed with productivity
We are.
That we forget to just be.
Yeah, we forget to rest. And he actually restructured his own work schedule to incorporate more leisure time.
Interesting.
And he found that he was more productive overall.
Even though he was working less.
Yes, because he was more focused and intentional.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And he challenges the readers to ask themselves, is your current job the right place for you to become your best self?
That's a tough question.
It is.
It's a good one, though.
Yeah. Are you in an environment that's actually supporting your growth?
Right. And I think a lot of people don't even ask themselves that question.
They don't. They just kind of go through the motions.
Yeah.
And he's encouraging us to really step back and look at our work lives.
Could you adjust your schedule? Could you delegate? Could you consider a career change?
Exactly, yeah. What would it take to create a work life that really supports your well-being?
I like that.
So let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
And talk about money, because that's something that causes a lot of people stress.
Oh, yeah.
But Dallas has a surprisingly simple approach to achieving financial freedom.
Okay, I'm interested.
So he starts by emphasizing honesty.
Okay.
Be honest with yourself about your spending habits, about your financial goals.
Right.
And he uses the example of buying a home.
Okay.
He says most people base their purchase on what the bank will lend them.
Oh, yeah.
Not on what they can comfortably afford.
Right. It's so true.
And we get caught up in that excitement, a bigger house, a fancier car, and we forget to think about the long-term impact.
So he's advocating for being more intentional about our spending. It's not about deprivation.
No.
It's about making choices that align with our values.
Exactly.
I like that.
What do you truly need? What can you comfortably afford? What are you willing to delay gratification for?
Speaking of delayed gratification, he's a big believer in long-term investing.
Oh, yes.
And his strategy, super simple.
It is. He advocates for low-fee index funds, automatic contributions, and a long-term mindset.
So it's not about getting rich quick.
No.
It's about slow and steady growth.
Exactly, yeah.
He has some really interesting examples in the book.
He does.
He says a 20-year-old could become a millionaire by age 60 by investing just 298 days a month.
That's the power of compound interest.
Right.
And it really highlights why it's so important to start early.
Yeah.
Even if you can only invest small amounts. Yep. It's consistency over time.
Yeah. And I like how he kind of takes the emotion out of investing,
Yes, he does.
He's not saying you should be watching the news and panicking every time the market dips.
Right.
He sees those as buying opportunities.
Yeah.
And he encourages people to just stay steady, disciplined.
Have a plan and stick to it.
Yeah. About building that solid foundation. Right.
Obviously, yeah.
Both financially and emotionally.
Yeah. And that leads us to the final chapter.
Okay.
This is where he gets really personal, talking about letting go of resentment, choosing to love people at a higher level.
Wow.
Yeah, he tells this really moving story about how he started making amends with people he had wronged in the past. And it wasn't just about apologizing.
Right.
He wanted to genuinely forgive both himself and others.
He realized that holding on to resentment was just hurting him.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
It was preventing him from experiencing true joy and connection.
He has this great line. Often what people do is not what they are. Often what they do is what was done to them.
That's so powerful. It reminds us that everyone is operating from a wounded place,
Yeah.
and that true love requires us to see beyond the surface.
Yeah, to see the hurt child within.
Exactly.
It's a beautiful sentiment.
And he emphasizes that love isn't just a feeling.
Right.
It's a choice.
A choice.
Yeah, a choice we make every day.
Okay.
To show up for the people in our lives.
To offer forgiveness.
To extend grace.
And that's not always easy.
No, it's not, especially when we're dealing with difficult people.
Right.
But he argues that it's in those challenging moments that our love is most powerful.
It's a good point.
It's easy to love people when they're easy to love.
Right.
The real test is loving them when they're not.
Yeah, I like that.
And that brings us to this idea of community.
Okay.
He sees community as an antidote to isolation.
Okay.
Which is so prevalent in our society.
Yeah, for sure.
He says we're wired for connection. And we need that sense of belonging.
Yeah, to feel like we're part of something bigger than ourselves.
Exactly. And he and his wife actually put this into practice by starting to host these regular play dates at their home.
Okay.
Not just for kids, for adults too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And he said at first the adults were hesitant.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They felt awkward. They had kind of lost touch with their playful side.
Right.
But eventually, they started to let go and just have fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it became this way for the whole community to connect.
I love that.
Yeah, he tells this great story about how they rented a giant inflatable water slide.
What?
Yeah, and at first, only the kids would go down it.
Okay.
But by the third time they had this event, everyone was sliding down, laughing, squealing like kids.
Oh my gosh, that's such a great visual.
Yeah, it's a beautiful image. It just reminds us that sometimes the simplest things, playing games, sharing meals, laughing together,
those are the most powerful ways to build community.
Yeah, I love that a lot.
And that's really what his message is all about. Choosing love, choosing connection, choosing joy.
Yeah.
You know, he believes that we're all in this together. And we have the power to create a more loving, compassionate, joyful world.
I love that. And this has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
I feel like we've covered so much ground, but also I feel like we've just scratched the surface.
There's so much more in the book.
Absolutely. It's definitely a book that I think is going to stay with me for a long time.
Yeah. What really resonated with me was his authenticity.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to be vulnerable.
Right.
To share his struggles. And I think that makes his message that much more powerful.
Yeah. He's not preaching from a pedestal, you know?
Yeah.
He's like right there with us.
He's like, hey, I'm figuring this out too.
Yeah.
Let's do it together.
Let's go on this journey together.
Exactly. And it's so inspiring. You know, it gives us permission to be imperfect.
Yeah. To stumble, to fall, to know that we're not alone.
Yeah, that we are too good to feel this bad.
Exactly.
Like there is another way.
There is.
There's a path to a better life.
Yes, and it starts with a single step, you know?
It does.
A choice.
Yeah, this has been such a rich conversation.
It has.
What are your top 3 takeaways from the book?
That's a good question. You know, one that really stood out to me was this idea of state.
Okay.
And how much it impacts our decisions and interactions, you know, becoming aware of our emotional state and taking steps to shift it.
Yeah, it's like that toolbox that he gives you.
Exactly, to become your own emotional meteorologist.
I love that, for me, I think one of the biggest takeaways was that concept of subtraction by addition.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That idea of like focusing on what matters.
Yeah.
And then the things that don't matter just kind of fall away.
They do.
And then my third takeaway, I would say, is his approach to love and community.
Oh, yeah, me too. It's so powerful.
It's beautiful. That story about the inflatable water slide just gets me every time.
Me too. It's such a great reminder that sometimes the simplest things are the most powerful.
They are.
And what I really appreciate about his message is that he doesn't sugarcoat things.
Right.
He acknowledges the challenges, the hard work, the setbacks that come with growth.
It's not always easy.
No, it's not, but he emphasizes the joy, the peace, the incredible rewards that come from embracing this journey.
Yeah, he's not promising a perfect life, right?
No.
But he's saying, even amidst the difficulties, you know, we can choose to feel good.
Yeah.
We can choose to live in a way that is aligned with our values.
Exactly.
Become the best versions of ourselves.
Growth is a process, you know?
It is.
Not a destination.
Yeah.
There's always more to learn, more to explore, more to become.
And that's what makes it so exciting.
It is.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like this kind of ongoing adventure. And as we've been talking about all these different aspects of his system, from, you know, sleep and hydration to mindset,
finances,
it really does feel like a holistic approach to well-being.
It does.
You know, it's not about compartmentalizing our lives. It's about seeing how everything is connected.
Yeah, it's all intertwined.
Right. And I think, you know, what struck me most about Dallas is his humility.
Yeah, I agree.
Despite achieving so much success, he's still so open about his struggles.
He is.
His needs for growth.
And I think that's what makes his message so relatable.
Yeah, he's not saying, I've got it all figured out.
Yeah.
He's saying, I'm on this journey too.
Here's what I've learned.
Right.
Let's keep learning together.
So going back to the title of the book, you're too good to feel this bad. What does that mean to you?
You know, it's like a call to action.
Okay.
A reminder that we have the power to choose how we feel, how we respond to life's challenges.
We're capable of so much more than just surviving.
We are. We can thrive. We can experience joy. Yes.
We can live a life that's truly fulfilling.
And it all starts with that single step.
That single choice to do things differently.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
We've learned so much from Nate Dallas and his book.
We have.
And since this episode is a little different, why don't we end with a 10-point summary?
I love that idea.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so number 1, this deep dive explored You're Too Good to Feel This Bad. A book by Nate Dallas that offers a holistic approach to optimizing your life.
It's based on his own personal journey of transformation.
Yeah, after a health scare forced him to reevaluate his lifestyle.
Number 2, the book is structured around 6 basic human needs.
Certainty, variety, significance.
Connection, growth, and love.
Yes.
And Dallas argues that meeting these needs in healthy ways is crucial for our well-being.
Absolutely. Number 3, Dallas emphasizes the importance of sleep.
Right.
Arguing that most high achievers are sleep deprived.
They are.
And that impacts their decision-making.
He advocates for things like nose breathing. Right. To improve sleep quality.
Number 4, Dallas stresses the importance of hydration.
Yes.
Suggesting drinking only water for a period of time to reset the body's balance.
He highlights the negative effects of dehydration on brain function, mood, digestion, even aging.
Right. Number 5, he introduces the concept of state.
Yes.
Which refers to our mental and emotional condition.
At any given moment.
Right. And Dallas argues that we often misinterpret situations because we're reacting from a negative state.
That's right.
He provides a bunch of tools for shifting our state.
Adjusting posture, breathing, gratitude, visualization.
Yeah, becoming your own emotional meteorologist.
Exactly. Number 6, Dallas encourages us to be intentional about our relationships.
Right.
Setting emotional boundaries and surrounding ourselves with people who support our growth.
Yeah, he uses that analogy of pruning a fruit tree.
Yes, to illustrate the importance of letting go of relationships that no longer serve us.
Number 7, he emphasizes the importance of leisure.
Not just as an escape from work, but as a time for intentional relaxation and reflection.
Yeah.
For pursuing activities that cultivate virtue and character.
He even calls it the most valuable of possessions.
Quoting Socrates.
Number 8, Dallas challenges us to assess our work lives.
Are our current jobs the right place for us to become our best selves?
Right. Do they align with our values and goals?
Yeah. And are there things we can do to create a more supportive work environment?
Absolutely. Number 9, Dallas advocates a practical approach to financial freedom.
Emphasizing honesty about our spending habits, intentional spending, and a long-term investment strategy.
Focused on low-fee index funds.
And automatic contributions.
Yeah. And number 10, Dallas shares his personal journey of letting go of resentment.
And choosing to love people at a higher level.
He emphasizes forgiveness, compassion, understanding.
Recognizing that everyone is operating from a wounded place.
And he highlights the power of community.
As an antidote to isolation.
Yeah, encouraging us to create opportunities for connection and joy.
So there you have it.
10 powerful takeaways.
From You're Too Good to Feel This Bad.
We hope this episode has given you a taste of what the book has to offer.
And inspired you to explore it further.
We hope this deep dive has inspired you to take a closer look at your own life.
Yeah.
And start making changes that will lead to greater well-being.
You are too good to feel this bad.
And as Dallas says, peace be with you on your journey.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
We'll see you next time.
It's so powerful. His story about the inflatable water slide gets me every time.
Me too. It's such a great reminder that sometimes the simplest things can be the most powerful.
And what I appreciate about his message is that he doesn't sugarcoat things. He acknowledges the challenges, the hard work, the setbacks.
It's not always easy.
No, it's not. But he emphasizes the joy, the peace, the rewards that come with this whole journey of personal growth.
Yeah, he's not promising a perfect life.
Yeah.
But he's saying that even amidst the difficulties, we can choose to feel good. We can choose to live in a way that's aligned with our values and become the best versions of ourselves.
Growth is a process.
It is.
It's not a destination.
Yeah.
There's always more to learn, more to explore, more to become, and that's what makes it exciting.
Yeah, it's like this ongoing adventure.
It is.
And, you know, Ed, we've been talking about all these different aspects of his system.
Yeah.
From sleep and hydration to mindset, finances. It really does feel like a holistic approach to well-being.
It does.
It's not about compartmentalizing our lives. It's about seeing how everything is connected.
Yeah, it's all intertwined.
I think what struck me most about Dallas was his humility.
Yeah, me too.
Like, despite achieving so much success,
right,
he's still so open about his own struggles.
He is.
His need for growth.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes his message so relatable.
It does. He's not saying, I've got it all figured out. It's more like, I'm on this journey too.
Yeah.
Here's what I've learned.
Let's keep learning together. So going back to the title of the book, You're Too Good to Feel This Bad.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
It's a call to action, a reminder that we have the power to choose how we feel, how we respond to challenges.
We're capable of so much more than just surviving.
We are. We can thrive. We can experience joy.
Yeah.
We can live a life that's truly fulfilling.
And it all starts with that single step.
That single choice, that decision to do things differently.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
We've learned so much from Nate Dallas in his book, You're Too Good to Feel This Bad.
We have.
And since this episode's a little different, why don't we end with a 10-point summary?
Oh, I love that idea.
Of the key takeaways.
Let's do it.
Okay, so number 1. This deep dive explored You're Too Good to Feel This Bad, a book by Nate Dallas offering a holistic approach to optimizing your life.
Based on his own journey of transformation after a health scare forced him to reevaluate his lifestyle.
Number 2. The book is structured around 6 basic human needs: certainty, variety, significance, connection, growth, and love.
And meeting these needs in healthy ways is crucial for our well-being.
Number 3. Dallas emphasizes the importance of sleep, arguing that most high achievers are sleep-deprived, and this impacts their decision-making.
He advocates for practices like nose breathing to improve sleep quality.
Number 4. Dallas stresses the importance of hydration, suggesting drinking only water for a period to reset the body.
And he really highlights those negative effects of dehydration.
Yes.
Brain fog, mood swings, digestive issues, even aging.
Number 5. Dallas introduces the concept of state,
which refers to our mental and emotional condition at any given moment.
He argues that we often misinterpret situations because we're reacting from a negative emotional state, and he provides those tools for shifting our state.
Adjusting posture, breathing, gratitude, visualization.
Yes, becoming your own emotional meteorologist.
Exactly.
Number 6. Dallas encourages us to be intentional about our relationships.
Setting those boundaries.
Yes, setting emotional boundaries and surrounding ourselves with people who support our growth, using that analogy of pruning a fruit tree.
Absolutely.
Number 7. He emphasizes the importance of leisure, not just as an escape from work, but as a time for intentional relaxation and reflection.
For pursuing activities that cultivate virtue and character.
Number 8. Dallas challenges us to assess our work lives, asking if our current jobs are the right places for us to become our best selves.
Do they align with our values?
Our goals?
Can we create a more supportive work environment?
Number 9. Dallas advocates a practical approach to financial freedom.
Honesty about our spending habits, intentional spending, a long-term investment strategy.
Focused on those low-fee index funds.
An automatic contribution.
And number 10. Dallas shares his personal journey of letting go of resentment and choosing to love people at a higher level.
Forgiveness, compassion, understanding.
Recognizing that we're all operating from a wounded place.
Yeah.
And he highlights that power of community.
As an antidote to that isolation and loneliness.
Encouraging us to create opportunities for connection and joy.
There you have it.
10 powerful takeaways from You're Too Good to Feel This Bad.
We hope this episode has given you a taste of what the book has to offer and inspired you to explore it further.
We hope this deep dive has inspired you to take a closer look at your own life and start making changes that will lead to greater well-being.
You are too good to feel this bad.
And as Dallas says, peace be with you on your journey.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
We'll see you next time.